Just tired of seeing our people suffer in every facet of life. Our healing is generations overdue. But where can we turn to for healing?
This respected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman.
The first thing I thought about is like, how did it get to this point, right? And just, I know, me personally, I have people in my own life, women that have been victims of the most heinous act of sexual assault, which is rape, and the most violent one that you're describing, that everyone tends to think that that's the only way that rape can occur. So I've known that, my whole life. So it wasn't necessarily like something that's been new to me, but it did help open my eyes when these things were going on, as far as the iOS thing in particular, because I thought to myself, like, not only how did it get to this point, but you automatically, I guess you assume that when somebody is having any form of violence happen to them, that once they're removed from the environment, it doesn't happen no more, right? And I thought to myself, I'm like, well, where is a safe haven for, particularly black women, to go where this won't happen to them no more? And I just had to realize, like, that environment is all around us. Like, there's no place. It's not like you can go over to this place and, okay, you as a black woman, you'll never have to worry about this happening to you or anything like that. And that was really what started that's what inspired me to like put this together, right? Because it's like, that shit's crazy. And you'll remember when I was talking to, my own friends and all that type of stuff, at first it was like, there was not necessarily pushback, but it was just like, well, how are we going to do this? Or I don't know if we can do it like that, or whatever the case is. And then fast forward, we have this shit happen where, all that shit where, people's names were being brought up and all that type of stuff. And then I had the same people that were literally a couple weeks before that telling me, like, nah, I don't think, like, how do we do this? Or how do we, like, one of the things was, how do you know someone's a rapist? Or how do you know that somebody's doing that? Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, we like to assume a lot of shit. Like, let's be clear. Like, Nobody has a problem with assuming, oh, this person's fucking this person, or this dude's getting this much money, or this nigga does this, or this, whatever. We don't have a problem assuming that, right? But we have a problem assuming this. And it's because, obviously, it's touchy. It's very sensitive. It's not easy to talk about this, but I think we, especially as black people, we have to be, like, if we're not going to be comfortable now with being uncomfortable, when the fuck are we going to get comfortable with it, right? Like, with everything that's going on, like, now is the fucking time to, all right, we got to talk about this shit, and then we got to actually do something about it. Yeah. So, when all that happened, I had the same people calling me and saying, like, we were literally just talking about that like a couple of weeks ago. And I'm like, yeah, it's crazy how things work, because this shit is literally coming full, like, it's unfolding for you, and it's right in front of your eyes. And it's crazy that there'd be a lot of people that something could be so in your face that you can't even notice it, right? Like, that's a real thing, like, racism. Racism could be in your fucking face, and there'll be black people that are like, no, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, it's just about opening your eyes. We'll get to that in a second. But it's just about opening your eyes and opening your perspective. And it was important, like, specifically with this topic, as far as the sexual assault thing going on, is because it's funny, or it's crazy at least, that we don't even know the victims, right? No. I'm not saying that we do. I'm just saying, like, it's crazy that without us even, or what people would deem like we need to know who it is, like, we feel a need to have to address it without even knowing who it is, right? And I think that just comes with what we were talking about at the beginning, as far as being selfless and actually, like, coming together. And it starts with us not only worrying about ourselves. And, like, that's what I'm saying. We don't know who these things happen to, but we know it's a problem, and that's what's brought us to this point. And I just had to touch on that a little bit, because not only is it crazy, but I just need people to, especially guys, and it's not to say that fucking sexual assault does not occur in all different types of ways, but we can only go off of the ways that we are being made aware of, or trying to be made aware of, and that way is women being victims of black men. That's not to say that women don't do this to men, because I'm pretty sure there's cases where that does happen, right? But if we don't make at least one, like, however you want to do it, if we don't make somebody in any form of victims feel comfortable enough coming out about this, then we're not doing anything, right? So I just wanted people to know that I'm not only speaking about sexual assault that happens when a man is perpetrating a woman, right? But I do hope that if we can address just that form of it right there, then that will open the floodgates for everyone else to feel comfortable to come out about this type of stuff. Because if a guy has this happen to him, we already know what the fuck's gonna happen. Yeah. Oh, you're not a man. Oh, how'd you let that happen? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, let's just start with that. And, you know, a lot of people, let's just be honest, like to ride waves. So it's like, okay, if we can get the women to feel comfortable about coming out about this type of stuff, and we can come up with some type of action on how we can, you know, implement some type of positive, have a positive impact on it, then who knows? We might have fucking the men come out and be like, I had this happen to me too. You know, so it's like, we got to start somewhere. And, you know, I just wanted to touch on that because I already know people are going to say that, and I know, you know, but like I said, we just got to start somewhere. But the floor is yours. Because I know you got something you want to say.
No, I think just to you pretty much said it all, but just to wrap it up, it's just like, you know, that's that saying of like everybody knows a victim, but nobody knows a rapist.
That's literally what it is.
All right, I ask one more thing. We often hear when we talk about these type of things, men need to hold other men accountable. Right, we hear that a lot.
Yeah, because they do rapey shit all the time.
It's true. And just for, you know, the people that are watching, how does that look, right? So like the accountability part, as far as, you know, because even though I'm not out here doing that to no women, I'm not out here raping, coercing no women or sexually assaulting, none of that shit. Even though I'm not doing it, I still have an obligation.
Corrective action is how that goes. That's for anything. That's for anything that you're trying to change. Corrective action. Now I know we discussed having each other's back in public.
Yeah.
And
that'd be the time to not. That might be the time to not do that.
That's the time when you kind of don't want to wait. You know what I'm saying? Until later on when y'all wherever, like corrective action has to stop like in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like dudes are rapey. Like they do rapey stuff all the time, especially like in a club setting, something like that. Like if you're in a club and you know you're walking by, you don't have to grab a woman by her waist. Right. You don't have to touch her. Why? Because if you're walking by a man, are you grabbing a man by his waist? No. So that means there's a way for you to get around without invading my privacy. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do that. You don't know if I want your hands on me. So as a man, if you see that, and I know y'all see that, if a woman's walking by and your bro touch her, hey, chill out. Like, did she say she wants you to touch her?
Yeah.
Did she look like she was inviting you in her space at all? Like that right there. Like touching it, like just invasion of space. Like when you correct somebody, let them know, like, hey, bro, I saw you. Like, maybe chill out on that. Like she might not like that, you know. And put it in ways like that because a lot of times men won't see anything wrong because they feel like, well, I was just trying to get by. Would you have done that to a man?
Yeah.
If that was a man, were you gonna walk by and grab him by his waist like, oh, let me? No.
Excuse me.
Yeah, excuse me. Like, no, you wasn't gonna do all that. But you think it's appropriate because you see so many other women or so many other men doing it. You think it's appropriate, but it's not appropriate. And if a woman was to like turn around and smack his ass, she would be in the wrong because it's like, oh, it's not that serious, but it's like, I don't want you touching me. Right. You touch me in an inappropriate way, and now I'm touching you in an inappropriate way.
I think the reason why it is that way, as far as guys feeling that that's the way to do it, is because it's such learned behavior, right? Yeah. Like, bro, just like you can run game without having to touch somebody. Like it's very fucking possible. Talking shit. Like, you don't have to touch them, bro. You know, and I feel like, you know, a lot of guys feel like that's the way that they can go about it. I don't know. But like just know that there is, and another thing,
and women need to stop feeling like they have to be okay with that.
Because it's normal.
Because you go in the club and the men touch you all the time.
You shouldn't feel like that's
you
normal.
Shouldn't feel like no. The man to tell him like, don't touch me, don't do none of that. Like you have to speak up. And I know that a lot of Black women, you know, we get stereotypes and we get labels put on us about being, like you said, loud and aggressive and over the top and extra. But you know what? Certain situations call for that.
Yeah.
And like me myself, I'm definitely like I struggle with that because like I'm like pretty outspoken and you know things like that. But like I myself have kind of shied away from that because I hate when people, you know, throw that on me like you're so this, you're so that, you know. But like I kind of am making my way back there though because I feel like I would rather be outspoken. I would rather be loud. I would rather let
Angry,
all of that and feel okay than to allow somebody to disrespect me because I don't want them to say, whatever. So women have to be more outspoken. You have to vocalize when when you feel uncomfortable. Even if you feel like it's the smallest thing, if it's making you uncomfortable or you feel some type of way about it, speak on it.
And real quick, just to like piggyback off of that too, like, because you kind of boiled it down to respect. Mm-hmm. I feel like as a man, or like just period, especially as a black man, like a lot of the times your respect for a woman comes like through attractiveness. You know what I'm saying? So if my respect for you only comes through attractiveness, then I don't respect you at all.
Meals and we ain't fasting. I came up, I gotta have it. I felt rain, ain't felt compassion. Sun came up, I know. When it rains, it pours.
And it's like, and women see it, and I know y'all see it, and it's a switch. Like in the club or wherever. If a man is trying to get you, oh, you look good, you this, you that, da. You told me you got a boyfriend, now you a bitch. Now you ugly. Now
you a hoe.
Like damn.
You be just low.
But it feels sunny this morning. Said it feels sunny this morning. Oh, yeah. When it rains, it pours.